Bold and the Beautiful. Couples Shake UPS. 5 twisted pairs that'll rock B&B to its core. Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans. There is almost no romance on the CBS soap right now. We've got Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, reunited, but we're not really seeing sparks fly. Across the board, there are very few love scenes. So, we want to talk about some new couples that would kick up the drama and bring some sexiness and heat to B&B. We're going to discuss couple shakeups. I think we all know that Bold could be more interesting. Some days it's a little hard to watch. With New Year's just a few weeks away, it's the perfect time for them to kick things up a notch. Let's talk about these 5 twisted pairings that could throw everybody for a loop, 'cause a little chaos generates some hotness and give us a little fun. Let's get into it. Taylor and Deacon. A fan-favorite pairing with sizzling chemistry on Bold and the Beautiful. The first couple is one that many fans would like to see together. They're a popular topic right now. You've probably guessed it, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, and Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon. I know it seems like Bold and the Beautiful is already heading in this direction, but I don't trust Brad Bell. He might tease this and then abruptly drop it. Remember when he brought back Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, for just a couple of episodes for no reason and made a big deal out of her crush on Liam? He was interested in Ivy too, and then that went nowhere. Then she was gone, and it was so many months later she came back. This was like a year before Liam and Hope ever considered reuniting. So my point is, they tease stuff, get our hopes up, and then they don't deliver. I really hope that Taylor and Deacon manifest soon as a full-fledged couple. Sparks are flying between Taylor and Deacon, and her being his therapist really made their connection more solid, even though it's inappropriate. Taylor keeps daydreaming about Deacon, and he spent his wishbone wish on her at Thanksgiving. Taylor and Deacon have had these close moments and deep conversations, and then they had that embrace in her office. They almost kissed. The chemistry is sizzling, and even though Taylor is trying to keep things professional, Deacon is ready to fight and win her heart. I would love to see them together. I know a ton of fans want to see it too. Taylor, Rebecca Budig, and Deacon are a fresh pairing, and I'm here for it. Of course, Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, would lose her mind and might target Taylor. But first of all, that's soapy fun. And second, I do think Deacon could eventually talk Sheila down. She would throw a hissy fit. But eventually, I think she would move on from Deacon because she did do him wrong. She did betray him. And she knows that Taylor's not out there preying on other women's men. An insane B&B twist. Could Eric Forrester reunite with Sheila Carter? But then Sheila would need a new romance, right? And that brings us to the second new couple I think could shake things up. I think it would be a fun and wild twist if Bold paired Eric Forrester, John McCook, with his insane ex-wife, Sheila Carter. Let's be real, Donna Logan, Jennifer Grice, is all fluff and no substance. So, I'm fine with them backburnering her and putting Eric with someone more interesting. Sheila with Eric would be really dramatic, but they would have to explain why he would ever go down that road again with Sheila. They've been hinting about Eric having some sort of medical crisis again. Maybe it's something that affects his brain and his decision-making, because, let's be real, you'd have to be off your rocker to be with Sheila. But she is a good time, and Eric was into her at one point. Sheila was his wife at one point. So, can you imagine how many heads would explode if Eric, John McCook, reunited with Psycho Sheila? I honestly think Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., might have to try to have Eric committed if he got back with her. Of course, Sheila and Eric do have a toxic past because of all of Sheila's criminal antics. If you remember, Eric first dated Sheila, Kimberlyn Brown, back in, I think, 1992. He had split from Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. Then Sheila found out Brooke was pregnant and didn't want to lose Eric. So she and Mike Guthrie, Ken Haynes, remember him, rigged the DNA test to say that Ridge was the father when it was really Eric. This was back when Brooke was pregnant with Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones. Sheila and Eric eventually got married, But then all of Sheila's lies caught up with her, along with the bad deeds she had done when she was in Genoa City over on YNR. So, Eric divorced her, but we also know Sheila is not quite a psycho anymore, and Eric being back with her would be really wild. The long shot bold and the beautiful reunion. Will Thomas and Hope get back together? All right, the third long shot couple that would wake me up and get me more excited to watch episodes of Bold and the Beautiful is for them to reunite Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, and Hope. Now, I know Liam is set to marry Hope in December, but Matt Atkinson was back filming as Thomas for Christmas episodes, so he would be around when Hope Logan and Liam were set to get hitched. I call this a long shot because it looks like Matt Atkinson taped for a week and left. So we're not getting a Thope reunion, at least right now. Probably not. But lots of fans would prefer to see Hope with Thomas. So maybe if ratings spike up when he's on around Christmas, maybe Brad Bell will reconsider. People either love Hope with Thomas or hate Hope with Thomas. There's not a lot of in between, but you never know. Hope was set to marry Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and then he took back the ring, and like 5 minutes later, Hope took a ring from Liam. A pile of fans do want Thomas back on Bold and the Beautiful permanently and like the idea of him with Hope. A second chance for love. Liam and Ivy's potential reunion on B&B. That leads us to the fourth couple. If Hope left Liam for Thomas, that could set the stage for a reunion between Liam and Ivy. Recently, she went and told Liam she wanted to get back what they had years ago. Ivy still loves him. She sees Liam as the one that got away, but he let Ivy down gently. Then Liam told Ivy that he really wanted to be with Hope Logan and was going to try to make that happen. Ivy was very gracious, but still heartbroken. So, if Hope wound up with Thomas, Ivy might get a chance to reunite with Liam. They were always a fun couple, a hot couple. I would like to see it. New romance on the horizon. Zend and the art teacher. And last but not least, the couple that could be fun is Zend Forrester Dominguez, Delon Demetz, and Miss Dillon, Sydney Bullock. We know that Zend hasn't had a love interest in a hot minute. The closest he came to romance was when he slept with Luna Nozoa, Lisa Yamada, back when she pretended to be drugged. And that was before Zend, Delon Demetz, and everybody else found out that she was a total psycho. Luna claimed she slept with Zend thinking he was R.J. Forrester, Joshua Hoffman, because of Poppy Nozoa's Romy Park Magic Mints. But Luna later confessed she banged Zend on purpose because she wanted to take him for a ride and see what it was about. He deserves a nice girl. But the cast of characters is so small, there's not enough love interest for everybody. But now we've got Miss Dillon, the cute little art teacher, back around. Maybe Zend should ask her out. She seems nice. And it would be ironic since Zend Boink, fueled by shared stress and close proximity, reignited their old flame. However, this time, the affair isn't just about passion. It's about power consolidation. As Hope and Bill make their hostile bid for FC, Brooke and Carter have found themselves not only in bed, but in a strategic partnership, plotting how to use Carter's legal expertise and Brooke's influence to fend off the Spencer takeover. The devastating reveal of this liaison was accidental. Donna, Jennifer Garais, suspicious of Brooke's late hours, followed her to the office and walked in on a very private meeting. Donna's anguished cry was overheard throughout the building, triggering panic. This development is particularly brutal for Ridge and Eric. Eric, who has always viewed Brooke as family, feels deeply betrayed that she would mix business with pleasure during a corporate crisis. Ridge, already dealing with Taylor and Liam, now faces the humiliation of his destiny, once again finding comfort with a handsome, younger, legally minded executive, a direct echo of his past pain. Carter, the good guy trying to do the right thing, is once again caught in the magnetic, devastating pull of Brooke Logan. 5. The unexpected serenity. Ridge Forrester and Dr. Lee Finnegan. The final and perhaps most permanent shockwave is the quiet, unexpected bond forming between Ridge Forrester and Dr. Lee Finnegan. After the simultaneous collapse of his relationship with Brooke, due to the Carter reveal, and the realization that Taylor was sleeping with Liam, Ridge was completely shattered. He had exhausted his options with the two women who defined his life. Retreating to the comfort of his office, he was unexpectedly joined by Lee, who was also stressed by her son Finn's recent, reckless behavior with Steffi. Their connection wasn't based on passion or history. It was based on shared exhaustion, mutual intellectual respect, and a profound, quiet relief that the other was not a Logan or a Hayes. Lee is the antithesis of the drama Ridge is accustomed to. She is focused, independent, and fiercely protective of her small family unit. Ridge found himself captivated by Lee's stability and her ability to put the chaos of the Forrester/Logan world in perspective. He respected her career, her intelligence, and her refusal to cater to his ego. It was Lee who finally told Ridge that his endless waffling made him complicit in the constant heartbreak. Their first kiss, captured by a long-lens camera outside the Forrester Creations main entrance, was not a fiery embrace but a tender, supportive gesture. This pairing is a seismic shift because it suggests Ridge is finally choosing peace over passion, respect over rivalry. It's the true end of the Bridge era. Ridge, the man who lives for drama, has chosen the most stable, non-Logan, non-Hayes woman in his orbit. The resulting calm is the biggest scandal of all, proving that the King of Forrester has finally abdicated his emotional throne. The aftermath, a war for control. The air in Los Angeles is thick with conflict. Hope and Bill's power play for Forrester Creations is the immediate corporate threat, forcing Brooke, Ridge, and Carter, the adulterous trio, to band together to defend the company. Meanwhile, Steffi's relationship with Deacon threatens the stability of the Finnegan family, pushing Finn to the edge as he tries to maintain his marriage while facing the man who sired his stepsister. Liam and Taylor, meanwhile, are the pariahs, clinging to each other in a desperate bid for revenge and validation, knowing their every move is being watched and judged by the entire city. And at the eye of the storm, Ridge and Lee are cementing a bond built on the ruins of two shattered families, proving that in LA, love isn't just about destiny, it's about absolute total destruction. The only question now is, when will the next round of musical beds begin? You won't want to miss a second of this glorious, twisted mayhem. The air inside the CEO's office at Forrester Creations was thick with the scent of high-end Italian leather and residual tension. Ridge Forrester, leaning against a glass wall overlooking the Los Angeles skyline, was discussing the latest hope for the future, sales figures, with Brooke Logan. Despite their recent reconciliation, a surprise to absolutely no one in the city, a certain underlying anxiety always simmered between them. It was the perpetual threat named Taylor Hayes. "I'm just glad Taylor is finding her own path away from us," Brooke said, running a hand over Ridge's Italian cashmere sweater. "She seems focused on her practice. It's mature. It's healthy." Ridge grunted, his eyes fixed on the distant hills. "Taylor always finds her path, Logan. And usually that path is paved with good intentions and ends with me having a headache." Steffi, entering the office with a stack of design boards, rolled her eyes affectionately. "Seriously, Dad? Mom is finally living her life without orbiting Bridge. Can't you just be happy for her?" Hope Logan, following close behind, chimed in, "Steffi's right. My mom has moved on from that drama. She's focused on her family, and I'm focused on the line. Everything feels stable." The word stable hung in the air like a poorly constructed, lightweight garment, one destined to fall apart at the slightest breeze. Suddenly, the office door flew open with such force that it rattled the glass wall. It wasn't the usual drama queen. It was Thomas Forrester, his face a mask of utter bewilderment, holding his phone in a white-knuckled grip. "Dad, Mom, Steffi, Hope, you won't believe this. The news is everywhere. It just dropped on Soap Dirt and LA Confidential." Thomas stammered, his eyes wide and panicked. Ridge frowned, annoyance already setting in. "What? Did Bill Spencer finally buy a decent pair of shoes? Spit it out, son." Thomas held up the phone, angling the screen, so the headline was visible in blazing red font. Today's shocking news: Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp elope in Vegas. Fan favorite pairing confirms sizzling chemistry in surprise announcement. A collective, deafening silence descended upon the Forrester office. 2. The earthquake hits. Brooke's hand shot to her chest, her face draining of color. She looked from the phone screen to Ridge, her voice coming out as a strangled whisper. Deacon? Taylor and Deacon? No, it's impossible. Ridge, the usually unflappable CEO, stumbled back against the desk. The image of the sophisticated psychiatrist and the reformed bad boy ex-con standing together, defiant and apparently happy, felt like a slap in the face from the universe itself. Taylor with Deacon? The dressmaker's dummy is going to lose his mind. Ridge roared, running a hand through his hair. This is a joke, a prank. Deacon is a snake, and Taylor is a world-renowned doctor. They share nothing, but they share a daughter. Hope interjected, though she looked equally stunned. And they share a past of being outsiders, rejected by the perfect Forrester world. She quickly regretted the last part as Brooke shot her a devastating look. Steffi, however, was already in action, scrolling furiously on her own phone. They didn't just elope. It says they've purchased a property in Malibu using the proceeds from Deacon's Sudden I.L. Giardino franchise sale. And the kicker? They're hosting a small, intimate celebration tonight. They're going public and they're doing it fast. Brooke lunged for her phone, dialing Taylor's number, which immediately went to voicemail. She won't answer. She's always done this. She runs off, makes a terrible, life-altering mistake, and then expects us all to clean up the pieces. A mistake. Ridge yelled, spinning to face Brooke. He is the mistake, Logan. He's an unstable grifter who married Sheila Carter. He's only with Taylor because she's a Forrester-adjacent meal ticket. This is the lowest Taylor has ever sunk, even lower than when she shot Bill. Don't you dare bring that up. Steffi countered, stepping forward to defend her mother. Mom shot Bill because she was protecting our family. And you know what? Deacon is hardly worse than you. Dad, constantly waffling between two women for decades. At least Deacon is choosing someone new. Someone who sees him for who he is, a decent man trying to make a life. The room had devolved into a full-scale Forrester Logan battleground. The new shock wave of Taken, as the fan sites were already calling them, splitting the room clean in two. 3. The bridge breakdown. Ridge turned his full, furious attention back to Brooke. This is your fault, Logan. If you hadn't encouraged Taylor to move on, if you hadn't constantly rubbed our perfect marriage in her face, she wouldn't have sought out the lowest common denominator in Los Angeles. Brooke gasped, insulted. My fault? Deacon is my ex-husband, my daughter's father. I'm the one who knows how dangerous he is. Taylor is a brilliant therapist. She should know better than anyone that Deacon is a man who relies on chaos. He's a man who made your life a hell of chaos for years, and now he's going to infect Taylor's life, and by extension, our children's lives. Ridge paced the office like a caged lion. Do you think Steffi and Hope can peacefully share a father figure who is married to their rival's mother? This complicates everything. This destroys the peace we just built. The peace built on your latest promise to me. Brooke shot back, tears welling in her eyes, the classic Logan vulnerability. You think Taylor needs your protection? You were ready to marry her 3 months ago, Ridge, and you threw her aside again for me. Maybe Deacon is the only man who has ever truly chosen her, Ridge. Maybe he's the only one who doesn't see her as a consolation prize. The accusation hit him where it hurt the most, momentarily silencing the fashion mogul. Hope watched the scene, silently nodding. It was a truth they all lived with. Deacon and Taylor were both used to being second best to the bridge dynamic, and perhaps in their shared history of heartbreak, they had found something real. For the daughters divide. Outside the office, in the design studio, Steffi and Hope continued the debate, their voices hushed but intense. You have to admit, Deacon seems different now, Hope argued, gripping a stack of fabric swatches. He owns a successful restaurant. He stood up to Sheila. He's been a present father to me. Maybe he and your mom have some kind of shared, dark humor. Steffi shook her head, her deep concern overriding her natural instinct to defend Taylor blindly. I want Mom to be happy, but Deacon Sharp? He's trouble-wrapped in a leather jacket. He's always wanted a piece of the Forrester life, and now he's married the doctor who has the Forrester grandchildren. It's predatory, Hope, and I won't stand for it. He genuinely cares about my father. Hope insisted. When he was going through things with Sheila, who did he lean on? Your mother. The psychiatrist. They were friends first, Steffi. That's more than you can say for most relationships around here. Steffi sighed, softening slightly. I know they have a connection. I saw it. The way they talked, the way they seemed to understand each other's baggage without judgment. But Brooke is going to lose her mind. Ridge is going to start drinking again. And Sheila is still out there, possibly lurking in the shadows, waiting to punish Deacon for finding happiness with a non-psycho blonde. This isn't happiness, Hope. It's a target painted on Mom's back. Welcome to the family, Hope murmured wryly. It's always been a target. The defiant union. As the sun began to set over the Pacific, casting long shadows across the beach, Taylor and Deacon stood together in their new, sparsely decorated Malibu living room. They were holding 2 cheap plastic cups filled with champagne, a marked contrast to the crystal they were used to at the Forrester mansion. Well, Doc, I think the LA Confidential headline was slightly less dramatic than what's currently happening in Ridge's office, Deacon said, a smirk playing on his lips. I can practically hear the growl of the Forrester jet from here. Taylor, dressed simply in a white sheath dress, the one she'd worn for their quick ceremony, smiled a genuine, radiant smile that hadn't graced her face in years. Let them growl, Deacon, she said, clinking her plastic cup against his. We did this for us. No waiting, no waffling, no grand spectacle for the whole world to judge. Just 2 people who are sick of trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for them. Deacon reached out and gently traced the line of her cheek. You know, I've been called a lot of things by those rich snobs. The gutter snipe, the lowlife, Brooke's mistake. But you, Taylor, you looked at me, and you saw a man trying to be better. And you, Deacon, you looked at the woman who spent 30 years believing true happiness meant winning a waffler in a designer suit, Taylor countered, her eyes sparkling. You saw the flawed, complicated woman who shot a man and kept secrets. And you didn't judge me. You just saw another survivor. She took a deep breath, the ocean air filling her lungs. We've both been rejected by the perfect people. We've both been cast aside for the better choice. We're both parents who've made monumental mistakes. And yet, we've found this easy, unpretentious chemistry. It's not a drama, Deacon. It's a refuge. A loud, aggressive knock thundered on the front door. That, Deacon said, taking a calming sip of champagne, sounds like our welcoming committee. Taylor placed her hand on his arm, her eyes resolute. Don't worry. We're ready for them. We are finally Team Taylor and Deacon. Deacon's usual street-smart swagger returned as he opened the door to reveal a furious, flustered Brooke and a stiff, utterly betrayed Ridge. Taylor, you can't do this. Brooke cried, stepping into the room. Ridge cut her off, his voice low and dangerous. You married him, Taylor? After everything? What in God's name is your endgame, Doctor? Taylor stepped beside Deacon, interlocking her fingers with his, a defiant, unified front. The endgame, Ridge, Taylor stated calmly, looking directly into his angry, bewildered eyes, is happiness. And unlike you, Deacon knows what he wants. He chose me. Once. Completely. And that, my ex-husband, is something you never could do. Deacon leaned in, his voice taking on a dangerous edge. Welcome to Malibu, Foresters. You should probably get used to seeing us around. We're not going anywhere. Taylor Hayes is my wife now, and you two better believe I protect what's mine. The sun finally dipped below the horizon, casting the new couple in a golden, almost defiant glow, ready for the storm that would inevitably follow. The drama was only just beginning.